so that we can start this class. Please, can you hear me? If you can, I want you to just go to the chat section of this training and tell me, I can hear you. I can hear you, Coach Wale. I will really appreciate that. Please just let me know if there's somebody at the other side. Let me just know. Please register yourself. You can greet all of us. Good evening. You can have us, everyone. Thank you. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Beautiful. Oh, all right. The class is going to bubble. The class is going on. Fantastic. Parenting children for maturity and independence. That is what this webinar is titled. That is what I give it. How can we parent children for maturity and independence? There are many reasons why we parent children. By the way, let me quickly put it this way. There's a difference between a parent and parenting. A parent is a noun, parenting is a verb. From the word parenting, you can see that is a present continuous tense. Parent is a name of a person, or this is a terminology that is used for someone that has a child. And parenting is different. Even if we want to go by that alone, it is to let you understand that you don't necessarily need to give birth to a child to parent. The fact that they call you parent does not mean you are parenting. The fact that you are called the parent does not mean you are parenting. So you can be a noun. So I am Wale does not mean that I am moving. Oh, that's just the way it is. And we have a lot of parents that are not parenting. No, that makes me say that parenting is done for certain purpose, for reasons, and a lot. Today, I just want to limit my scope of parenting to the one that says that you can parent a child for maturity and independence. You can actually parent children for maturity and independence. Every time you have people that are skeptical of leaving their children all alone at home, and those children are between the age range of 12 to 18, you know, some parents are seriously afraid. There is what I call fear-based parenting. Some parents are really afraid. Afraid in what sense? Some parents cannot leave their children at home and go. And when you check, the real problem is the quality of investment that has been put into such child. And this is very, very important because, you know, we are now beginning to see, that in this critical time that we are, we need to see to maturity and independence of children as fast as possible. So let me go on. I want to make sure that I don't take too much of our time. I want to make this to be straight to the point. I'm not beating around the bush. I'm going to be dropping this also on different platforms that we run on Parenting Community so that everybody can lay their hands on it. What does it mean? I want to start by saying that, you know, parents love so much that sometimes they overhelp. Oh, yes. The love that some parents have over their children, for their children, I beg your pardon, the love that some parents have for their children can be so much that it becomes, or they overhelp the children. You see, somebody is carrying the plate, somebody is even feeding the child, somebody is doing, and when you ask for the age of the child they're feeding, the boy says, I'm 7-year-old, I'm 8-year-old, and someone is still feeding the child. The child does not even know what house chore means. The child does not even know what it means to wash socks, you know, the socks that he wears to school. You know, he doesn't even know what it means to put it on. You know, as early as possible, we need to begin to think about maturity and independence right now. We need to begin to think about it. It's not just because of anything, it's because of the time that we are in. Oh, yes, I believe that the time determines the need. I believe that the time when the world changes, the rules of the game will change. If the world is changing and the rules are changing, but we don't play by the rules, we are going to be penalized for it. If the world is changing, the rules will change. I can tell you that. That is constant. When the world changes, the rules of the game will change. And when the rules of the game changes, it is expected that we know the rules and we play by the rules. If you don't play by the rules, you will be, in fact, there is a lot that will go wrong if you don't play by the rules. So because of this, I'm pushing this because we have to understand, why is maturity and independence, why is it so critical? Why is it so important, especially, for parents right now? Why is it so important to think about my child's maturity? Because the children are exposed as early as possible. Exposure has made it so critical that the level of control that a parent can exercise on the children is actually in how they groom those children for maturity and independence. The level of control that you can exercise, what gives you confidence to say that even if I'm not there and my children are on YouTube, even if I'm not there and my children are watching something, I'm so sure that they know what is right and from what is wrong. A child that has been over-pampered, a child that has been over-helped, may not be able to control and may not be able to regulate himself or herself. Let's go on. You see, I said the number one killer of confidence is over-helping, and I want you to pay attention to me carefully. Over-helping is so harmful and injurious that children that have been over-helped growing up are so timid, and they don't really display confidence. Why? Because they grew to know that somebody is always there to come and take things from them, to come, and even when they get to about to start doing something, somebody is always there. They grew up in a situation where someone is always there. Now there is need for them to face the crowd where nobody is coming forth. They will dare it. The number one killer of confidence, either I want to introduce myself, or I want to engage in conversation, or I want to speak to people. You find children that have been overhelped, that when they want to even talk to their colleagues, they can't look at them eyeball to eyeball. You see children that have been overhelped, they cannot face the class, just a class. They can't face a class to talk. They are present in a teenage church or in a preteens church, and they can't speak boldly. Overhelping is very injurious to children. And whenever we are talking about parenting children for maturity, the first thing I go for is this concept that I call overhelp. It is good to help children, but at a particular point, if the help does not also have boundaries, you see, it can be very, very dangerous. You have to be able to, as parents, you have to be able to clearly define it, or clearly find the difference between helping and delivering duty. Duty is not the same as help. Duty is not the same as help. You must be able, there's a thin line between duty and help. If you don't know it, you possibly just get it. There's a thin line between the two. Help is actually in the space where the capacity of a child, or let me say it, where the capacity of a child is not to the level where the parent come to support. Duty in its sense is what is expected of you as a parent to do. So to help a child, you are not helping a child when you are paying for his school fees. That's not help. But there is help when the child brings assignments to home, when the child brings homework, and the child is about to start, and then the parent has given all the answer. That's overhelp. When the child gets into the examination hall, you see, when children are used to parents doing their doing the assignment, homework, exercises, the practices, when children are used to the parent doing it for them, the confidence level to combat examination, to sit well and to be able to handle everything that comes with examination is not going to be there. Because these are the advantages of children attempting and working their assignments, their classwork, and all the practices by themselves. Over helping, I can talk about this over helping in so many ramifications, in so many areas. When you are scared of putting children amidst other children, oh yes, when it's time for the child to speak, you want to speak for him or her. Hope you know that a time is coming that you are not going to be there and the child is going to need to stand for himself or herself. Overhelping is the number one killer of confidence. Let's go on. And what does this mean? It means, when you constantly solve their problems, you are sending a message. You are sending a message that says that you can't do it without me. You are sending a message to the children that, oh, they can't do this thing. And all of a sudden, you just see the children saying, I can't, I can't, I can't. You see, to be able to use the word I can't, it actually starts from action. It starts from action. Action will lead to belief and mindset, and the belief and mindset will lead to the reality. You have to understand. Action leads to belief, belief leads to reality. Anything that you think you cannot do, that is in the confine of your capability, capacity, and your environment, you notice that it started from action. It started from action. Today, let me say this, as I am talking to you right now, I cannot fix my car. If my car breaks down today, I can't fix the car. I can say I can't. Why? Because I grew up seeing mechanic fix cars for me. I have mastered that act. Now, I'm bringing this down for us to understand why when we talk about parenting children for maturity is so critical. I grew up seeing my dad giving the car to a mechanic to fix. I continued from there, bought my car. If the car gets fault, I give it to mechanic to fix. Now, that action leads to a belief system. And that belief system will lead to, you see, as much as possible, it will lead to reality. That's the way it works. Oh, someone says on the platform, I can't connect. Oh, please check your network. Oh, yes. It's possible that is the network. Please check your network. And okay. So you can't do it without me is the message we are communicating when we solve all the problems of the children. A child that is being groomed for maturity and independence is allowed to figure things out at some point, at a particular level. Even before your intervention, the child must figure it out. You see, one of the curriculum that I love so much in education is Montessori curriculum. The Montessori system aims at getting children attain independence as early as possible, as early as age 3, age 4. You see children coming up with a level of independence. And those things are critical. They are practices. They are practices. So I said children internalize, like I said, from action to belief, from belief to reality. And you see, you just discover that the child become afraid of trying at every point. So I want you, every parent, to understand the place of over-helping and working on it. Please, this is very important. The second thing I want to say is maturity is not by age. Maturity is responsibility. Maturity is not by age. Maturity is responsibility. Somewhere, somehow, I don't know how it happened, but bulk of the people that command the economy, bulk of the people that command the narratives in the world today, but most of the people that are at the helm of affairs in different sectors today, they got maturity at a very early age. And I can give you countless number Because I'm a child psychologist, it's something that I research into. I can give you a good number. There's a man called Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is possibly the leading or the known name in investment world today. When he clocked 80 years, I think he's 94 now. When he clocked 80 years, and in the birthday, celebration, he was asked a question and asked that, okay, what is your life regret? You have spent 80 years of your life. I believe that you have seen success. At that time, I think he was number 3 in the world, richest man in the world. And he was asked, if you can turn back the hand of time, what is that thing that you think you failed to do in the 80 years of your life that you will have to do again? And he responded, he said, I will start investing earlier than I did. The amazing thing about this is the fact that Warren Buffett started investing at the age of 11. 11-year-old. Imagine somebody at 11 start investing at the age of 11. He was already investing in stocks. He was already looking at the market, investing at 11 years. And he said, I would have loved to start earlier than 11 years. Bill Gates is another name that rings the bell. Another name that controls a lot of narrative in the world, in the global space. Bill Gates finished Encyclopedia Britannica at age 8. He read Encyclopedia Britannica, that big book, at the age of 8. When he was starting his business at the age of 12, Bill Gates started Microsoft at age 12. He started a global company because he had read about countries at something comes to me and say to me, like, there is something about these people that their parents understand so well. There is something about them that a lot of parents needs to understand, that a lot of parents needs to study. Maturity is not age. Maturity is responsibility. Is responsibility. What is the level of responsibility that you are putting for your children? Some people attain responsibility by condition. Some people attain responsibility by intention, intentionality. Strategic parents right now are intentionally making their children responsible. And how do you achieve responsibility? By accountability. Oh, yes. Responsibility will not happen by teaching. Responsibility will not happen by training. Responsibility will not happen by advice. Responsibility will not happen by prayer. Responsibility happens by accountability. What does accountability mean for a child? Commit resources in the hand of the child and demand accountability of that resources. Oh, your 8-year-old, yes. Your 9-year-old. Let me give a practical example. I bought a dictionary for my daughter. Very good dictionary. When I was going to buy it, it was something that the school advised that, and that I bought the dictionary. And after the term, she didn't expect that I was going to ask for all the books. And then I asked to see all the books that we bought at the beginning of the term. And she put everything but the dictionary. Where is the dictionary? She went into her room and started doing all sorts, brought out all the clothes. I said, dictionary is not in your clothes. Your wardrobe for clothes is different from where you put your books. To cut the long story short, she couldn't present the dictionary. And I told her, I said, I'm going to hold you accountable for this, that the next thing that I give to you, you will take care of it so well. You see, if you want children to handle their things well, you should never be too forgetful of what you put in their hands. A lot of parents will commit so much in the hand of the child, and the children will just do it anyhow. Oh, yes. This is where maturity starts. Maturity is responsibility, and responsibility is accountability. I said there are many 17-year-olds that behave like 10-year-olds because responsibility was not taught early. In fact, 27-year-olds behaving like 10-year-olds. if they are not responsible, they will never be mature. Just understand, there won't be maturity if there's no responsibility. You see, I have a training for children that is starting from December 14th to 28th of December. Somebody asked me and said, oh, Coach Wale, we have festive period. I say, I know, it was done intentionally. Oh, on Christmas Day, no. But the Boxing Day, which is 26th, of course, except the family is going on, if family, they will create time for that child. It is meant for responsibility. A child must be responsible to say that, Mom, before we go for party, I have a class. Let me attend my class first. It's a self-paced class. It's not we have live classes, but it's not, all the live classes are not, it's not every day. But there is something for them to learn every day in that training. It was intentionally between 14th of December to 28th of December. Mature minds have ability to control emotion. They have ability to regulate. One time we are partying, another time I want to sit, I quickly want to grab something. That is how we achieve maturity. Maturity is responsibility. You see, bulk of the training, bulk of the exercises, and a lot of things that we are doing for those children in these 14 days, I tell you, is responsibility based. You cannot have a mature child if you don't expose those children to responsibility. If you are following me, let me hear from you. Are you following me? If you are following me, go to the chat box and tell me, Coach Wale, I'm following you. Coach Wale, I am following you. I want to see. Coach Wale, I am following you. Please, kindly let me know. Please let me know, please. Oh, fantastic. Following, yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Following, any other person? If you're following, please let me see. Let me have us. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. So responsibility is very critical. You see, very important. So there are some ways by which we can achieve maturity. And that's the essence of this training. You can achieve maturity in 3 ways. Number one, by assigning age-appropriate tasks. Oh, yes, that's responsibility. There are tasks that a 10-year-old should be doing. If your 10-year-old is not doing it, then maturity is far. There are certain tasks that 8-year-old should be doing. There are certain tasks that 15, 16-year-old should be doing. There are certain tasks that a 21-year-old should be doing. You see, when you see a 21-year-old that is not doing anything at this age and time, by the way, we have 21-year-olds right now doing their masters. Doing masters. Oh, yes. We have 21-year-olds, actually working, multitasking right now. So when you have a 21-year-old that is at home doing nothing, something happened when the child was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, when it comes to task, when it comes to delivering of task. Very important, very important. Oh, fantastic. Thank you. My 21-year-old cousin is a chartered accountant. You see? So, but you have it, when you have a 21-year-old at home, and then you ask, what are you? They say, I'm in 200 level. I hope you know it's not normal. I am sorry to say. I'm not trying to put pressure on children. No, I'm not. Remember what I said earlier. Let me make you understand something. The world is changing. The rules will change. Once the world changes, the rules of the game will change. When the rules of the game changes, the people that are living in the world must play by the new rules. To use old rules to live in the new rule is problem. You will be penalized for it. I can tell you that. Maturity is in you, not following the bandwagon of what everybody is posting online. Not following. That's where maturity is. Some children are not undergoing certain tasks, but they have phones in their hands. Oh my God. I'm privileged to coach. Oh, yes. I'm privileged to coach some children, because honestly, I mentor over 600 children. And I'm privileged to coach some people. And the amazing thing about this is the fact that when I hear those children talk at 16, 17, I'm just thinking, what is wrong with you? Hey, oh my God. Sometimes I intentionally put all of them together. I put a 17-year-old in a class with 8-year-old, and the 8-year-old is striking conversation, and the 17 is looking and say, I say, oh, you are looking at it. That is, this boy is half of your age. I'm telling you, this boy is half of your age. Because, and the difference between the two is that this one has been introduced into the world of maturity, true responsibility. There is no shortcut to this thing. I am telling you, there's no shortcut to it. It is true assigning age-appropriate task. Oh, yes, task. Secondly, building competence gradually. It's not only the task that brings maturity. Competency brings maturity. So there are certain things that children should have gained mastery over at certain age. Oh, yes, competencies. We have to, as parents, we have to think about the competence. We shouldn't think just about the information that the children are getting. I think that the 20th century practice of parenting is the one that thinks that a child is developing because he's going to the four walls of a school. Once the child comes home with assignments and the child come back from school, wake up in the morning and go back to school, the child is developing. No, you must, as a matter of urgency and as a matter of duty, you have to make sure that there are certain competencies that follows that schooling. If it is sport, if it is recreation, it is exposure, traveling, it is actually what their areas of interest. You see, I have a son that is studying animals. As I'm talking to you, possibly he's watching another, maybe a dog or something, studying, and his competencies. This helps because it expands, it broadens their perspective, it broadens their horizon. Build competency in those children. Some are going to be learning robotic and coding skills, while some are going to be learning catering and cooking. Some are going to be developing the ability to fix engines, fixing of engine, fixing a lot of things, household equipment, and a lot of things like that. While some are already developing the competency in public speaking. Some are developing competency in artistry. Building competency gradually, it helps, and maturity comes that way. The third way to bring it is to stop using this excuse. They are still small. They are still small. They are still small. They can navigate your phone. Even though they don't have a phone, they have access to your phone and they know where to go. They have a folder on your phone and you can never get there. I'm telling you, they are still small. They are still small. They are still small. I had a session with an autistic child some months ago. I had a session with that child, and the child is just 4 years. And so when he started getting cranky and a lot of things like that, I had my phone in my pocket. He just reached out to my phone in my pocket. I had even nearly forgotten that he reached out to my phone. The amazing thing about it is that the phone that he reached out to had no password. It's not passworded. And really, he just went to the YouTube. Pram. I'm telling you, just reached out to the YouTube. I was shocked. Of all the apps on that phone, how come he identified the YouTube app? That means that is not the first time I had a lot of apps on the phone. How did he navigate and get his way? And then we say that they are still small. No, you can't build maturity by thinking your children are still small. You build maturity by ensuring that, oh, their age appropriate task that you are going to introduce to them, and there are competencies that you have to give them. This is the point where I talk about the maturity and independence mentorship program that is coming up for 14 days, starting on the 14th of December. 14th of December, I'm going to be spending time with some children, and your children can also be part of this. You know, it's going to be amazing. From December 14 to December 28, this is going to help children to develop life skills that they need to succeed in school, in relationships, in career, and in adulthood. That's the ultimate goal. You see, a good adult did not just emerge. A good adult emerged by intentionality, preparation, and strategy. I like saying that whatever is sure does not need fear. You cannot be afraid of what is sure. When you wake up in the morning, you are not afraid that that night will come. No, you are not. If you are afraid that that night is coming, it's because of two things. It's possibly because there is something that is going to happen in the night that you are not prepared for. Oh, yes. That is why people are afraid. When people are afraid of tomorrow, it is because there's a lack of preparation. Anything that is sure, anything that is certain does not need fear. It needs strategy and preparation. Oh, yes. The adulthood of a child is sure, is certain. When you are afraid, someone was telling me one day and told me, and said, Coach Wale, hey, I'm afraid of the future. I said that statement is not a very good statement that an adult that is intentional, that is educated should be talking about. Say, when I see everything that is going on, no. When you see everything that is going on and you know that the future is sure, if everything going on should prepare your mind to prepare your children and prepare yourself, so that you come up with strategy that not only immune you, but we put you at a pedestal where you will not be victim of all those things and your children will not be. Oh, yes. This is my own way of creating strategy and preparation for the future of children, as many as possible. As many as possible. I'm privileged to mentor so many children. But I tell you, as many as possible, dealing with them one person at a time, because their future is guaranteed in the maturity and in the independence. One of the things that you can do as parent is to actually enroll your children to this. I tell you, it's going to be an amazing time. It's 2 weeks of intentionality, 2 weeks of handling emotional maturity, 2 weeks of responsibility and discipline, 2 weeks of displaying confidence and communication. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. All right, let me go to my training. Let me go back to training. So if you're interested, please kindly, you can send a message on the platform, or you can send me a message on my WhatsApp. I'll just send it the link to the training description and everything, all the details and everything that you need to know. All right. Independence is built through exposure. Please understand, maturity is by responsibility. Independence is through exposure. Two things, two different things. You have to know the way maturity comes, and you have to know the way independence is achieved. Independence is built through exposure. Exposure. The more exposed children becomes, the more independent they become. Children grow when they're exposed to certain things. Number one, real life challenges, not theory. Oh, yes. If you want a child to be independent, in preschool, in Montessori education, there's something called the practical life activities. It is aimed at a child becoming independent. So you see different things that they expose the children to that looks practical, like folding of clothes, folding of mats, arranging of shelf, arranging, buckling of shoes. As the motor skill of a child is being developed, the independence of the child is also being developed. Children grow when they are exposed to real life challenges. So you have to expose them to the reality. Yes, reality. When their clothes are loaded on the bed, maybe after laundry, they might not be the one that really did the laundry, but when the clothes are there for him to be folded and be arranged neatly in the wardrobe, the work begins. That's exposure. That's a real life challenges. You are building a child that is going to be very organized. And it's not a woman's job. A child's maturity is for both men and women. There is no task at all that is for women. There's no task at all that is for men. Oh, yes. Sorry, for boys and girls. It's very important to understand this. Expose the children. Expose them. Don't look at a child and say, you are going to be a man. Don't worry, you should not be in the kitchen. That's a 20th century knowledge. Oh, yes, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. You see, it is not only abilities to cook that people get in kitchen. That's why it looks as if in different sectors now, the women are taking the place. I can count the number of banks in Nigeria that have male bank MDs. I can count them. The number of banks in Nigeria that have male bank MDs, I can count them. Oh, yes, we have to understand how this thing works. So real life challenges, real life, expose them to those real life. Secondly, new environments. New environment. Independence happens when children often are exposed to new environments. Don't create a just a one-way life for a child from home to school, from school to home. That's all year round. There's no time to record traveling. There's no time to record a new habitat, a new place. And you know, the truth about it is that that's where independence happens. That's how it happens. That's how it happens. You know, you can work in as a parent, you can work in collaboration with parents, you can work in collaboration with registered private bodies that really and you can create a picnic by yourself. You can get these children to get into another environment. They see new faces, they register new vegetations, terrains. By the time you are going, you are already giving them tasks. What did you see that is different from what you have been seeing before? You know, this new environment helps, exposure of children. Number 3, the small decision-making opportunities. Exposure to small decision-making opportunities. Let them choose. Choice is not a virtue of adults, or it's not something that we do in adulthood. Choice also requires training. See, let me tell you something. It is easy to choose what is good and what is bad. Oh my God. If you want to teach a child choice, how to make the right choices and decisions, I have loads of activities that I'm going to be loading children that will be participating in the forthcoming maturity and independence mentorship program. It takes better skill in decision making to choose between good and better. A lot of people cannot make that distinction between armed robber and a banker. Which one, if you ask a lady, which one will you marry? A lady, even though for you to understand the level of decadence right now, some ladies will even choose to marry the armed robber. Maybe the armed robber is having more money. And say, if I am, that is to tell you the level of dependence that people have right now. And it is actually as a result of improper exposure. I'm being sincere. But to choose between good and better, to choose between better and best can be camouflaged into irrelevance. It takes a child that has skill of choice to come up and see that thing that looks irrelevant and be able to see a better and a best choice in it. That's what we teach children right from the time when they are young. You start teaching them to make certain decisions. Give them options. Don't create a dogmatic life for children. Don't create a life of one way for a child. Give them options. Give them a life of options. There is no choice when there are no options. Option is the foundational principle for choices. When people don't have options, you say they don't have choice. The minute there are 2, 3, 4 options, then they can choose from those options. When a child says, oh, I will, when you want to ask what a child will eat, give them option, let them choose. When they choose and then ask why, between bread and snacks, which one will you take? I want snacks. Okay. Why do you want snacks? Because you just want to eat fast right now. But you are supposed to take bread so that it will help you. It will take you for long. Why? Because the next time you are going to eat is going to be so time. And there is nothing you can say at that point that will make me hear. Anything before this time, you are not eating again. So choose wisely. That child is already being taught how to choose, so that when it gets to a particular point, it thinks consequences when choosing. That's the skill in choice making. That is the skill in decision making. That is how to raise children for maturity and independence. Okay. How children grow? Children grow by what I call controlled discomfort. Controlled discomfort. You want a child to grow. The child must not always have a yes every time. There is a level of discomfort that is highly needed, critically needed. That discomfort is not happening by situation. It's happening in a controlled setting. Oh, yes. Wow. No, please, can you hear me? If you can hear me, please let me hear from you. If you can hear me, please. Can you hear me? I just saw that there is no sound again. Is that true? Is anybody hearing me? Oh, fantastic. Please, I want you to check your place, please. Please check. Thank you very much. We can now. Okay, fantastic. So I said there is what I call controlled discomfort. Controlled discomfort. Oh, yes. At a particular level, there's a level of discomfort that is needed for independence in children. Oh, Coach Wale, give me an example of controlled discomfort. It's just very straight. I will start with what they know how to do best. Children like to snack. Oh, yes. Creating eating routine at home when they are at home is what I call controlled discomfort. When children are in school, I notice that a child eats in a school maybe 10:30 or 11, generally in some schools during break. When the class is going on from, let's say, 9 to 11 or 8:30 to 11, they don't eat. Of course, they will eat to come to school, and then the next time they eat is possibly that 11. If by 12:30 or 1, they can snack, they can have their snacks, and then by 2 o'clock, some even have their snack by 2 o'clock, and then it's until they leave the school before they can actually take another meal. But when they're at home, some children can eat 17 times. As they get to pass beside the fridge, they take a chocolate. Pass another one, it's another thing. There's a biscuit somewhere, there's a bread on top of the fridge, there is pancake, there is something somewhere, everywhere. There's a granite somewhere, there's something they can quickly lay their hands on and put in their mouth. And all of a sudden, all those things were packed and kept in a place for another 4 days, saying that nobody takes food after breakfast. The next time you are taking food is your lunch. The next time you are taking food is your dinner. And that's all. Control discomfort. You see them coming as many times as possible. Mommy, daddy, you have not done this one. Oh, daddy, I don't know. I want to eat. You see, that craving is as a result of certain things. Now, when children grow up with that craving, and they're always meeting the demand. The demand is always, I can tell you the truth, something begins to happen. The independence and maturity of the child is going down. I can tell you. Don't be a yes parent every time. You will not always be there for your children, and the world will not always say yes to them. The reason why we have a lot of people, a lot of children, or even young adults that are having suicidal thoughts, committing suicide, depressed, dejected, I can tell you the truth. The reason for that is because of this that I'm sharing with you. It's, in fact, is the leading cause. It is called controlled discomfort. Another example, where you take children to the mall, you see, take them to the mall just for them to see. How, Daddy, I want to buy this thing. Even though you have the money, sometimes it is not, fancy to say, oh, I don't want my child to suffer. It's not suffering. It's just for them to understand that there are certain times when the world will say no to you. Even when they are crying, even when you see, all of a sudden, you just see that the eyes of the child just change. The countenance will change. Instead of trying to give her or him attention at that level, you just continue. He will see you and just look at you and say, no, I don't think this one is my father. Well, it's okay. Controlled discomfort. At a particular point of the day, you just tell them, go and take your book and come and sit beside me. And you are reading by yourself. You too, you are reading. Normally, you don't want to read, but you read, so you to read. That's where you begin to know the level of maturity and independence that your child have. You just discover that after 5 or 10 minutes, say, Daddy, I want to drink water. No, sit down. We are reading for the next 35 minutes. Nobody is standing up. And you stick with it. Truth be told. Oh my God. It is children grow. That's how we make children grow. Oh, yes. I said you must step back without abandoning, and you must guide without controlling. Oh, yes. It's very key and important. Whenever you are actually giving them this independence training, exposing them, please don't abandon the children. Don't. And don't control. Don't be in a situation where you just want to control the children. Okay, I think I want to share the last slide with you. However, I would like to say that as much as possible, I would like as many children as possible to partake in this 2 weeks program that is coming up from December 14. I believe and I know that it's going to be an amazing one. All right. Okay, so allow me to just talk about emotional maturity. Of course, I have a lot of slides that are embedded in this, but allow me to talk about emotional maturity, which is a very key part. In fact, I'm not going to end this class without talking about it. Emotional maturity is very important. You see, and how does emotional maturity happen? Emotional maturity starts with safe parenting, not strict parenting. Oh, yes. If you are too strict as a parent, in fact, that's one of the things that really affected a lot of people in my generation. We are victims of strict parenting, and it affected our emotional maturity. Some people, either way you see it, emotional maturity must be about balance. Some people tend to become so hard, while some people can tend to become so soft. Any of the two is not emotional maturity. Hard being, some people were very tough. They developed tough personality as a result of what they were exposed to by their parents because of strict parenting. While some people develop a very passive personality. They are so passive, they are so soft. Unfortunately, the world is neither soft nor hard. Oh, yes. If you want to develop a tough personality, then you can't be a people person. You'll be a loner. You will not value relationship. And there are so many people in that, and they are passing through the serious issue. Divorced, marry again, divorce again. Why? They have a very tough personality. They find it very difficult to understand people. They find it difficult to see from people's perspective. They find it difficult to develop empathy. So they started business and the business is not working, not because the idea is not good, not because they don't have good marketing skills, but they don't have people relationship skills. People don't stay with them for long. You see that? That is the negative side of developing a tough personality alone. The negative side of developing a soft personality also is the fact that the people that are the other extreme, they just can't get anything done. Once they start and the emotion is speaking, they just leave it. So you find them abandoning projects, you find them abandoning things. It's a sign of emotional weakness, inability to pass through, to go through despite challenges. Let me tell you, the world that the children are growing into right now will require a level of agility. And you have to understand, it can only come from safe parenting. It starts from safe parenting. What does safe parenting means? You see, children become confident when parents are calm, supportive, and consistent. If you are going to raise a child that will be emotionally mature, you must understand that you need to have a calm attitude. You need to have a supportive behavior, and you need to have consistent practice. It's very, very important. Your attitude must be the calm one. You must never be the one that once a child comes, you just frown your face. Why? You don't have to be, you don't have to be laughing anyhow at these children of today. You will raise a child who will either become tough, extreme, and you know what? They don't have space, even in the corporate world, they don't have space. Why? Because the space now is becoming social. Social skill is a critical part of emotional intelligence. Social skill. Social. Oh, yes. So, and a parenting that use calm attitude, supportive behavior, consistent practice will help a child to develop emotional maturity. I have to stop here right now. Oh my God. Please permit me to stop here. I hope this class has been very amazing. I hope this class has been so good. I would like, if there's any question, I would like you to actually put the question on the platform so that I can